Here's a taste treat you can enjoy indoors, outdoors, at work or at play. Adds enjoyment to whatever you're doing. You feel better, work better, get more fun out of doing things.
Sono lieto di poter rievocare in poche parole le esperienze delle prime trasmissioni radiotelegrafiche a grandi distanze da me felicemente eseguite attraverso l'Oceano Atlantico il 12 dicembre 1901.
Holy snapping bra straps.
It's Magnewish.
Republic of Avalon Radio. It's 0 hours Avalon Standard Time. Republic of Avalon Radio.
You're with the road.
All right, well, here we are. This is a voice from the past coming at you. Quite by definition. In fact, if I just went inside right now and put this up, it would still be a voice from the past. It's not the present. That's why we say here at The Roar, coming to you almost live from the heart of the Republic. That's why we say that, because it's not live, but it's almost live. It's a convenient time for you. You're listening right now when it's good for you. That's the thing, you see? As I said way back when, it's not 8 o'clock on a Thursday night. Now I noticed. I haven't heard that in a long time, but that's the time, the fictitious time, that I would always say to people. It was so convenient using RSS, podcasting, or all that. I would say. It's so convenient because you don't have to tune into that show at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night. I wonder what comes on at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night. Now that I think about it. Could be just about anything. Depends on the channel, the station. All these sorts of things too. Could be meditation time at 8 o'clock on Thursday night for some people. Could be go postal time for some people.
Could be.
Yeah. New neighbors?
Yep.
Do they look like...
I haven't seen them yet.
No, you haven't seen them? The new neighbors.
They have nice cars. I have 2 cars.
Oh, great. We got the yuppie invasion going on here. Anyway, as I was saying, this is a voice from the past because as we record right now, it is 1st July. And, well, I'll say the year, I guess, 2010. It is 1st July 2010. I say the year because, obviously, people will be hearing this before the year is over. But some people will be listening to this into the future when it's not 2010 anymore, or 2010, or 2010, whatever you are, or 2010. It's year 2010.
2010.
2010.
This is Canada Day.
It's Canada Day, and it's... also Memorial Day in Newfoundland. We talked about that on previous episodes, so we won't go all into that right now. But it's Memorial Day in Newfoundland, which is, Memorial Day. And we happen to become part of a country where it's hee-haw day. So
Yeah, and it seems
a crying shame.
It's crying shame that both of these events or whatever
Crying shame, Emmylou.
occur on the same day.
It is too bad, even if they were a day apart,
Yeah.
you could have Canada Day on the 31st of June, and everybody could go out and get on the hoo-ha's, and
It's
then
the 31st of June, though.
oh, the 30th of June. Well,
That
they
would
could
be even
invent
better.
one.
Yeah.
And let's have Canada Day on the 31st of June. There's my idea. See? Didn't even realize what I was saying, which is really nothing different when you think about it. Nothing out of the ordinary. But, yes, so here we are. We're just taking a little stroll. It's a nice night, actually. It's we've had a bit of rain, so everything's got that fresh feeling, but it's also gentle. Like Lillian came back a little while ago and said that it felt warm out. I know what she means. It's gentle. The air is very, very soft, very gentle.
It's a little bit of there's humidity in the air for sure.
Ah, sure, just like a spring day in
Just
Ireland.
like a spring day.
Yes, indeed. So yes, so we're just taking a little stroll down to the pub, going down to through the heart of downtown, in the heart of the Republic of Avalon, and yes.
I would say by the time you guys listen to this, there is a new website up for the Roar.
We have a whole bunch of new stuff going on, folks. That's what I was just about to get into. So this new website, what's the story on it, please?
Well, it's basically a revamping of what was already there. It's just that the old one was very hard to maintain, just because of the way it was built, and I think it got a little bit kind of sloppy.
Oh. So this one is employing some sort of CMS?
Yeah, it is, and Joomla, which
Mhm.
makes it really easy to keep it up to date, and all kinds of little things like, the shopping cart and all that is really kind of nice and efficient and works very well.
Good, and it accepts all credit cards and PayPal and all that kind of stuff?
Yes, it does. Well,
Excellent.
it all goes through PayPal, but you can pay by credit card.
Oh, good. Okay, well, that's great. So anybody who was thinking about getting any of the things that are available over there, all my music's over there, all my CDs, and I'm not quite sure what else is. I think there might be the Jim Fidler t-shirt over there or something like that, and whatever. Anyway, whatever's over there, if you want a little piece of us for your very own, you can go over and have a look, and if you have PayPal, then you're good to go, or if you have a credit card, you're good to go. And if you don't have either of those two, you can get in touch with us and we'll help you out. But anyway, that's good anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks nicer. It definitely looks cleaner and kind of. I like it. I dig it a lot more than the other one. So.
Yeah, the other one was getting kind of old hat too.
And I bet too we haven't checked it. Well, by the time this is up, it will be completely accessible as well.
Okay, well, let's not make promises like completely, but
Maybe not
More.
Yeah, more accessible.
more accessible. Let's hope it's more accessible. So, to any of you out there who that means anything to, or to whom that means anything, let us know about that. Go over to republicofavalonradio.com, have a look around, and give us your scoop. Give us your what you think about the whole thing.
Yeah, and if anybody finds anything that doesn't quite work, if you go to buy something and you find something redundant or could be working better, or something that you want to suggest,
Let us know. Yep.
And if you would like to see something on the site, let us know. If you want to see more pictures or
Yeah, nude pictures of aliens.
nude pictures of Eddie Mailbag.
I want to see nude pictures of Eddie Mailbag dancing with nude aliens.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, we were also thinking about putting up a forum. I don't know.
Well, there's all those possibilities, you know.
Yeah.
We've monkeyed with stuff like that in the past, and to varying degrees of, varying reactions and so on. I think everyone's so dialed into like Facebook and all that kind of stuff now.
That's right. I don't know if
But here's the thing, though. Facebook is Facebook. That's out there. That's everywhere. But what we could do with the website, if you guys wanted, is create a little separate corner for. I mean, it doesn't mean you quit Facebook and go. I almost said Spacebook then. It's My Face and Spacebook. It doesn't mean you have to quit that and do this. It's just another little corner, you know. It's just another little space. These things like Facebook are all fine and grand, but they're so way out in the open, you know. Sometimes there's that nice feeling you get instead of going to the supermarket. Sometimes you like that feeling when you find yourself, you know, at the village market and, you know, people are out selling their wares, you know, in a smaller environment, in a more organic type environment, fewer people and all that kind of stuff. And you can actually talk to people there in that smaller setting. So, I mean, we can do that kind of thing. We love the idea of doing that, like the whole idea of a community. Because we do know that we have listeners. We hope we have listeners.
What if there's nobody listening to this?
Oh, yeah.
Does that mean it doesn't exist?
No, I think it still exists if a roar falls in the forest and all that kind of stuff. No, but we do have a group of listeners, and you know, are you guys getting in touch with each other? Do you guys know each other through Facebook? No. That's the thing. That ain't happening. And it's not necessary really that you guys get to know each other, but wouldn't it be nice if there were a little place? Now, we have a group on Facebook. There's a Republic of Avalon radio thing on Facebook, and we post to it when we have a new episode. But, you know, that's all, really. That's all there is to it. I mean, if you're subscribed to the show, you don't even need an email or a notification in Facebook to know that it's there. But we do realize that some people, you know, still, whatever, don't know how to subscribe and all that using iTunes, or they don't know how to download Juice or whatever. That's fine. But, I mean, there are like forums. Let's say if you're a fan of the Montreal Canadiens or the Boston Bruins or whatever, you know, those websites have forums and things where fans of those teams can go and, you know, not have to deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs fans and stuff, you know, total undesirable people like that, you know. There are places where you can get away from Toronto Maple Leaf fans, believe it or not. It is true. But so, I mean, we could have a little community for Roar listeners, for Newfoundland expatriates. If you're from Newfoundland and you know, you're living away from home, Facebook is fine. You got all your friends, but on your Facebook you've also got your co-workers and people in wherever, Vancouver and Brooklyn and whatever. What if you just want to go to a little place that it's specifically people who are fans of the Roar, or people who you know, who like my music or Newfoundland music in general, or people, you know what, perhaps people feel a little uncomfortable. Well, I don't know. I'm just thinking about, say, the Great Big Sea situation. I think they sort of pulled out of that. They pulled away from it. It got uncomfortable. Some people were getting on there and whatever. I mean, look, a forum like that, we wouldn't be in there poking our noses in all the time. You know, that's not what it's for. It's something we would create for you guys, not for us. And, you know, but suggestions, whatever. Anyway, let's not belabor that topic any further. If you have any suggestions about the website, let us know.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah, you know, it's a tool. It's a tool for us, and it's also something that we want to make interesting for you guys.
Well, you know, the tool for us is making things interesting for them. I mean, that's
exactly.
The whole purpose is the listeners. So
Yes, it is.
it's not really about us,
Yeah,
you know.
like-
Our tools are unseen. The stuff that we use to record and mix and edit and however we choose to post the things and all that stuff, that's unseen. The listener need not know that. But something like, for example, if we stopped the RSS feed and just started uploading MP3s to a website where people had to go and download it. How would you feel about that? Would you be okay with that? We just have links up on the Roar site. If you want to get one of our shows, you just go up to the website and click on shows or click on archives and then go in there, and all the shows are there with the show notes and links where you can download them. Would that be good enough, you know?
What's your preference on
Do we need to have an RSS feed? Does it need to be a podcast? Does it need to be that? I don't know. We don't know. I mean, I like the convenience. I like the idea when we first started this of the whole RSS feed. But I still haven't heard in mass from our listeners that that's what they like and that's what they're into. I don't know. So you let us know. We really do want to hear from you guys, because we're revamping this whole thing right now, and we want it to fit. You know, we want our glove to fit your hand. So, you know, stick out them fingers. You know.
I think some people would just maybe like to go to the website every now and then and click on a show.
Maybe.
We have a player there.
Well, see, now they can do that anyway. That's the thing. There's
true.
a player there. So we've made allowances. My point, though, is if we're going, who are we going out of our way for? You know, by having the player up on the website and a way for people to go to the website and listen to the show, when our intention was to have it as a podcast, and everybody was going to the website. You know, 2% of everybody was going to the website, and 2% of everybody was subscribing to it, and 98% were just going and downloading it. Then what about all these hours and hours and hours of work that we're doing, you know, for to try to push a point across on people that aren't interested in whatever that technology or whatever is. And the same goes the other way. You know, what if we put it up on the website so you have to go and download it, which is making 98% of the people happy. Mm-hmm. I guess what we want to know is, how loud are you 2% or you 10% or whatever? Let us know. We want to know, because we want this to become as easy for us to do as possible, and as easy for you to get it, so that it's just, you know, nice all the way around. So we need to hear from you folks. Let us know. Do we continue with the RSS feed so you can subscribe in iTunes and all that stuff, or do we just go to downloads on the and go to putting the shows up on the website for you to download? Do we keep both going, or do we stop the player on the website and just do the whatever? Little poll. Let us know. Go to our website, republicofavalonradio.com. Check out the new website. Let us know what you think about that, and what you think about that other stuff too. And anyway, so that's so much for all that. The other thing about the show is that I've been going back and having to redo all the episodes in terms of, you know, the titles of the names of the files, the titles, and the stuff that you need not know about, the tangly technical stuff, the ID3 tags and all these things. It's an awful lot of work, and I'm getting very close to the end now, which is really good. And this is the reason why I'm doing this is because we're looking at moving away from, up until now we've been on Libsyn, and we're looking at just putting it on our own server. We have a server, we have space and bandwidth that we're not using, and then we're paying all this money to Libsyn. You know, it's costing us money on top of money to keep these shows available to you, and you know, we're just very heavily considering going about it in such a way that it's going to be easy for us and cheaper for us, and you know, to keep the show coming. That doesn't mean any change on your end. You won't have to do anything differently. You can still go to the website and listen to the shows, or you can still stay subscribed in iTunes or Yahoo or Google or whatever you're doing, you can still just carry on. Nothing will change. The feed won't even change. And the feed did change technically. Let me give you the new feed. It's http://feeds2.feedburner.com/Republic of Avalon Radio. The only difference between that and the old feed was the two. The old one was feeds.feedburner.com/Republic of Avalon Radio. Now the new one is feeds2.feedburner.com/Republic of Avalon Radio. Now the old feed still works. From what I gather, Google bought out FeedBurner, yada 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 yada, and all that kind of stuff. But at least for now, we're going to stick with the FeedBurner feed. That's what all our subscribers now are using. So we don't want to change that and then possibly end up changing it to something else again. So we'll keep that. Everything will be the same. As far as you're concerned, nothing is changing. Everything's fine. But anyway, in the process of doing this, and it's kind of exciting for us to be taking care of this ourselves, not just saving the money or whatever, but it's kind of, we're learning something in the process, and we're kind of getting our hands on on the tiller or on the steering wheel of something that we were kind of paying somebody else to drive before. And so that's all very exciting. We're really looking forward to that. It means there'll be no limitations too. I've got a whole bunch of material that I haven't gotten up because of limitations on how much stuff I'm allowed to upload at any given time. It cuts me off. It says I've exceeded my quota and I can't do anything. And good Lord, we're not going to start paying a whole whack of extra money to be uploading extra episodes. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, we do this, as you all know. If you're a long-term listener to the Roar, you know the whole reasons why we do this, and sort of, just sharing our lives with you, my love of radio, all that kind of stuff. And if it can't put us out of our home. We're not going to lose our house over the Roar, So we're finding ways of doing it, and actually, while we're doing this, we're improving it while not changing anything for anybody. Everything you do, every single one of you that's listening to my voice right now, however you got this show, you can still get it exactly the same way. Nothing changes. So, one thing though that I might want to mention is that perhaps by the time you're hearing this, the problem is solved. I'm not sure. But please, if there's anybody out there who has episode 38, please, we need episode 38. We do not have episode 38. While I'm in the process of redoing all these episodes and getting them all in order, getting them all properly named and tagged and all together in a directory and ready for us to put it up on the new server and all that stuff, I realized that we don't have episode 38, and it's no good on the Libsyn server. It's corrupt. The file is broken. You can't download it. So there's an episode of the Roar that's missing. It's gone. It's lost. We don't have it. We don't have it anywhere. So please, if you have the Roar on your computer, if you have all the episodes of the Roar, or even if you have some of them, or if you think and you realize that you have a computer up in your bedroom that has the Roar on it, when you used to listen to it on your computer, and a year ago you got an iPod and you started listening on that or whatever, please go have a look. And if episode 38 is there, please send it to us. We'll
thought of somebody who might have that.
Who?
Mike Busboom.
Mike Busboom, maybe.
Maybe.
I'll try maybe getting in touch with him. I've been looking through and scratching my head and thinking of who I can get in touch with to see. But in any case, episode 38, it's called don't know, Captain Jim leads us in through the Narrows or something like that. So a really nice episode where we went out on a boat. We went out on a little tour out through the harbour here and out around outside into the Atlantic Ocean, down around Cape Spear and all these places. And it would be a real shame for that episode to be gone. And like I said, we don't have it. I had a hard drive crash way back when. I told you guys all about that in a previous episode. And so that's gone. The originals of all that stuff is gone after or before episode 50. I think everything before episode 50 disappeared. But I managed to get them back as MP3s. The only one that's missing is episode 38. So you give them a please, 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 please.
Please. We're begging you.
Please.
Episode 38, very important
Help
episode
us.
for the Roar.
Help us.
We're not gonna be complete until we have it.
I can't upload those shows if there's no episode 38. That's not going to cut it.
No. So we're begging you.
Please, help us. We'll give you things.
Yes, we'll send you something.
We will. Whoever comes up with this episode 38 will we'll send you something like one of my CDs. If you already have one or two, we'll send you one of the ones you don't already have, or we'll send you one that you can give to somebody as a gift or something. We'll take care of you. Don't worry.
We will indeed.
Mm-hmm. So what else is there? Oh yes, the FW 1884.
Oh yeah.
I mentioned before that I'm upgrading in my studio, and got a new machine, a new mixing desk, or whatever you want to call that. And it's arrived, it's here, and she looks really nice, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. So further subsequent episodes of The Roar, at some point, as soon as I retrieve all my stuff off the old system and get that all backed up and everything, we'll be making the changeover, and you guys will get to hear The Roar through new means, which is kind of exciting. There'll be some new equipment introduced into the process of making these shows for you. I don't know that it's going to significantly change the overall sound of the show, but put it this way, it'll make doing the show easier for me, and due to that ease, maybe free up a bit of my mind and my time for some more creativity, and make it less sort of toilsome for me, and we can have more fun and silliness and things like that. So anyway, it will be good for you, dear listener.
In the end.
Yes.
Yes.
So right now we just kind of turned the corner. We're passing right by where the Big Bite place was.
Mm-hmm.
Still is?
I think it's still called about Big Bite.
Okay.
Yep, it's still there.
That's a donair place. And they had a fire there. When was that? A couple of years ago?
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Previous episode, we're walking past right around the time of the fire and talking about it.
The Burne building.
The Burne building, that's right. That's the funny thing about it. That's the building that had the fire. It is literally called the Burne building.
Yeah.
That was just bound to happen then, wasn't it?
Yeah, eventually.
It was just a matter of time for that one. Well, I feel like I gotta stop for a second. I feel like we just talked about so much internal sort of stuff. The podcast vibe, from way back when,
Mm-hmm.
back in the days of podcasting, when it was, all the rage, whatever. A lot of times you would hear podcasters, and they get on, and all they talk about the whole time was their foolishness to do with uploading their files to, I spent all morning trying to upload my files to the server, and then the server, blah, and then they're talking about their, their whatever microphone or USB mic that they bought for the podcast, whatever. I think a certain amount of that is interesting, but I just feel like we just kind of did a lot of it. Talking about the website and all that. Do you think? Or is it okay?
Definitely no. I don't think it's Mike Hanrahan.
There's Mike Hanrahan. There's Mike Hanrahan now, singing a Gordon Lightfoot song. In at, what's it called again? Shamrock City. Yes. Welcome to Shamrock. For any of you Damian Marley fans out there. What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, I think it's one of those, celebration nights on George Street.
Well, it's like July 4th in America.
Yeah, it is actually. Although there's not many people around really out here.
Or the 14th in France.
Maybe there was more on the go earlier today.
What's the day in Germany? What's the big day in Germany when everybody does that?
The Oktoberfest?
Yeah.
I don't know.
When's the big hoo-ha day that everybody gets off and it's the biggest national holiday, like,
Good question.
I don't know, the Austrians dead day or something like that. Hey, that Austrian guy, he's not around anymore. We're so glad about that. Woohoo! Because, of course, Hitler wasn't German,
No.
That's one thing that I think a lot of people deep down know, but they don't tend to. When they talk about the Germans, the first face in their mind is Hitler, but he wasn't a German. So I mean, you think about, Canada. You don't think about George Bush. You know what I mean?
Not.
So anyway, there you go. That seems a bit odd anyway to me that an Austrian would be, taking over Germany like that.
It's sort of weird, isn't it?
But anyway, that's it.
That's history, as they say.
Austria. It's your fault. It's your fault. So Mike Buzzboom, you have to reckon for this. Anyway, it's a subject that's not really, anything to joke about, any of that stuff. And I wasn't even joking, in fact, the whole idea of somebody who gives a country a bad name and they're not even from that country. I guess people would say, well, a lot of people in that country went along with him, but you know what? I think no matter who you are, no matter what you do, you can just about anybody with a good speechwriter can start a parade, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you, too, like, how powerful
I'm leaning the other way, how gullible people are.
Well, yeah.
How everyone thinks that it's not them, it's not me, the bad guys are elsewhere, and, whatever bandwagons they jump on, they never think of themselves or their people as the bad guys,
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of people in Canada or the United States, for example, who would never, ever think that it would be even remotely possible, no matter, even if they look and you tell them all the laws that are being passed and all the freedoms that are being reduced and taken away, that they're slipping into a kind of a fascist tyranny. They just don't want to believe it. And I don't think the people in Germany want to believe it anyway, but that's a very serious topic.
It is.
Let's lighten up here, folks.
Well, it's,
Hey.
I guess, control of the media, but then it goes back to being gullible because
yeah.
you just watch, listen, and read.
That's right. People should be able to read nonsense and see it for what it is.
Yeah. But, it's all like the Matrix.
It is. It's the old Matrix thing all over again.
Yeah.
We're living in the Matrix.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's all very exciting times for the Roar and for the Root Cellar, for the studio, and for both Lillian and myself being part of all that kind of stuff. And so projects. I was just talking to somebody earlier today about they want me to produce an album for them. So that's something over the horizon that looks very interesting. And I've also got a few things banging around, a couple of projects aside from that look extremely interesting, and part of it has to do with, as I mentioned before on a previous episode, recovering all those old projects and just realizing that with the technology I have now, and I'd say perhaps the experience I have now as well, remixing those projects is a very good thing. So there could be a CD come along of a mishmash of things, some old remixed stuff with some new stuff alongside of it, and something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue, and all that kind of stuff. Could be. In the back of my mind, it's been pressing for years now. We've been thinking about it, and I think it's probably time. Seems to me like Revolution Time was almost like the place marker. You know, it wasn't done on purpose that way, but I think it's time to put out a collection because, you know, I'm not so egocentric that I think that every song I do is going to appeal equally to every single person. And that's why we recording artist type people put out these things that sometimes are called greatest hits, and some of them are called collections, and some are called retrospectives and things like that. I'd be looking at more of putting out a collection. See, greatest hits means, for one thing, they had to be hits to begin with. And although I've had, you know, a few songs that have become pretty widely known in Newfoundland and other parts abroad as well, I haven't had any sort of top 40 hits or anything like that. So it would be more of a collection. And that'd be something that we'd love some feedback on. If you guys think that there's songs that you would really like to see on a collection, kind of taking music from Gypsy, Friendly Fire, Midnight Rover, what else? It's funny, see, because my stuff is so split up, you know, into the kind of reggae stuff, the world type stuff, and the more sort of folky or Celtic or whatever you want to call it stuff. I've got that new song Leslie Street, and I've got so many other songs that are taking shape around it, that there's a new album already spinning in the pond, as it were. The Jaja dropped another pebble in the water, and there's already been a kerplump, and I'm already seeing the eddying, the spinning thing taking place. So there is another record already taking shape, and that one's bound to happen too. It's, you know, there were other records in between, but Friendly Fire in a lot of ways was really almost like a precursor to Mosaic, and Mosaic was kind of like a precursor to Revolution Time in a sense, and in a way on the other side of it, Gypsy was like a precursor to, I guess, the Storm the Kettle that I did with Eamon Dillon, and that was like a precursor to Midnight Rover. So I do sort of have follow-ups, a kind of a Gypsy Midnight Rover follow-up to that lineage in the works, as well as some other stuff brewing that would kind of more follow up the Mosaic and the Revolution Time stuff. So projects in the works, things are brewing, and we're still alive and we're still happy, and it's July 1st, 2010. Here we are.
Hey, we are here. We have arrived.
We have arrived. We have destinated, as we say in amateur radio. So we will shove on. Oh, and just a little progress report. As you guys can probably tell, my cold is just about gone. I'm just about completely cold free. So good news on that front. On that note,
Yes. Here we go.
we will
Into the blue.
to the wild blue yonder. So we'll say to you guys, take her easy, and we'll catch you on the other side.
All right. Bye-bye. See you guys.
Cheers to ye.
Nice hanging out with you again.
a Root Cellar production.